The invasion began shortly after midnight on the morning of the 6th of June with extensive aerial and naval bombardment as well as an airborne assault, the landing of 24,000 American, British and Canadian airborne troops. The early morning aerial assault was soon followed by Allied amphibious landings on the coast of France Sea 630. The target 80-kilometer stretch of the Normandy coast was divided into 5 sectors: Utah, Omaha, Gold, Juno and Sword. Strong winds blew the landing craft east of their intended positions, particularly at Utah and Omaha. The men landed under heavy fire from gun emplacements overlooking the beaches, and the shore was mined and covered with obstacles such as wooden stakes, metal tripods, and barbed wire, making the work of the beach clearing teams difficult and dangerous. The highest number of casualties was at Omaha, with its high cliffs. At Gold, Juno, and Sword, several fortified towns were cleared in house-to-house fighting. And 2 major gun emplacements at Gold were disabled using specialized tanks. The Allies were able to establish beachheads at each of the 5 landing sites on the first day, but Corentin, St. Lo, and Bayeux remained in German hands. Caen, a major objective, was not captured until the 21st of July. Only 2 of the beaches, Juno and Gold, were linked on the first day, and all 5 beachheads were not connected until the 12th of June. German casualties on D-Day have been estimated at 4,000 to 9,000 men. Allied casualties were at least 10,000, with 4,414 confirmed dead. Operation Overlord was the name assigned to the establishment of a large-scale lodgement on the continent. The first phase, the amphibious invasion and establishment of a secure foothold, was codenamed Operation Neptune. To gain the air superiority needed to ensure a successful invasion, the Allies undertook a bombing campaign that targeted German aircraft production, fuel supplies, and airfields. Elaborate deceptions, codenamed Operation Bodyguard, were undertaken in the months leading up to the invasion to prevent the Germans from learning the timing and location of the invasion. The landings were to be preceded by airborne operations near Caen on the eastern flank to secure the Orne River bridges and north of Corentin on the western flank. The Americans, assigned to land at Utah Beach and Omaha Beach, were to attempt to capture Corentin and St. Lo the first day, then cut off the Cotentin Peninsula and eventually capture the Port Fasaline. Germany had at its disposal 50 divisions in France and the Low Countries, with another 18 stationed in Denmark and Norway. 15 divisions were in the process of formation in Germany. Combat losses throughout the war, particularly on the Eastern Front, meant that the Germans no longer had a pool of able young men from which to draw. German soldiers were now on average 6 years older than their Allied counterparts. Many in the Normandy area were Eastern legions, conscripts and volunteers from Russia, Mongolia, and other areas of the Soviet Union. They were provided mainly with unreliable captured equipment and lacked motorized transport. Many German units were under strength. In early 1944, the German Western Front was significantly weakened by personnel and material transfers to the Eastern Front. During the Soviet Dnieper-Carpathian offensive, the German High Command was forced to transfer the entire 2 SS Panzer Corps from France. All told, the German forces stationed in France were deprived of 45,827 troops and 363 tanks, assault guns, and self-propelled anti-tank guns. The 1st SS Panzer Division, Leibstandard SS Adolf Hitler, 9th, 11th, 19th and 116th Panzer Divisions, alongside the 2nd SS Panzer Division, Das Reich, had only arrived in France in March to May 1944 for extensive refit after suffering heavy losses during the Dnieper-Carpathian operation. 7 of the 11 Panzer or Panzer Grenadier divisions stationed in France were not fully operational or only partially mobile in early June 1944. Rommel believed that Germany's best chance was to stop the invasion at the shore. He requested that the mobile reserves, especially tanks, be stationed as close to the coast as possible. Rundstedt, Geyer, and other senior commanders objected. They believed that the invasion could not be stopped on the beaches. Geyer argued for a conventional doctrine, keeping the panzer formations concentrated in a central position around Paris and Rouen and deploying them only when the main Allied beachhead had been identified. He also noted that in the Italian campaign, the armored unit stationed near the coast had been damaged by naval bombardment. Rommel's opinion was that because of Allied air supremacy, the large-scale movement of tanks would not be possible once the invasion was underway. Hitler made the final decision, which was to leave 3 Panzer divisions under Geyer's command and give Rommel operational control of 3 more as reserves. Hitler took personal control of 4 divisions as strategic reserves, not to be used without his direct orders. The Normandy landings were the largest seaborne invasion in history, with nearly 5,000 landing and assault craft, 289 escort vessels, and 277 minesweepers participating. Allied casualties on the first day were at least 10,000, with 4,414 confirmed dead, and the Germans had 4,000 to 9,000 casualties killed, wounded, missing, or captured. The Germans never achieved Hitler's stated aim of throwing the Allies back into the sea on D-Day or at any time thereafter.